Hey guys, Vin here. Thanks for stopping by and taking a look at my Mage Tower Tank Guide. We'll be specifically looking at Prop Paladin in the Mage Tower Tank Challenge, but all other tanks should be able to find this video useful. In this video, we'll cover talent tree options, consumables, the phases of the fight, and how to mitigate and deal with the ads. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and jump straight into Phase 1. In Phase 1, we'll be fighting Inquisitor Varus. Inquisitor Varus casts three important abilities that you need to notate: Aura of Decay, Mind Rend, and Drain Life. Let's start by talking about Aura of Decay. Aura of Decay is a debuff that stacks on you while you are underneath Inquisitor Varus. It is resembled by a dark colored circle. You will continue to gain stacks of Aura of Decay as long as you remain in this dark colored circle. Leaving the dark colored circle will allow your stacks to count down over 10 seconds, removing them from you completely. It's not recommended that you get more than 6 stacks of this debuff, as it could be very hard to manage your health pool at this point. The other notable thing of War of Decay is that you cannot use any abilities to remove the stacking debuff. The next ability that Inquisitor Varus will cast is Mind Rend. It's a single target shadow ability that does damage to you. It's not worth wasting an interrupt on this ability, as the only way you'll die to it is if you have too many stacks of Aura of Decay. Now let's talk about the third ability that Inquisitor Varus uses. This will be Drain Life. It takes priority in this challenge over all other abilities and will need to be interrupted as soon as possible. It will continue to heal Inquisitor Varus as long as the channel is going on, and it can be interrupted with just about any interrupt in your tool belt. Now let's look at the enemies that will be spawning in Phase 1. These are going to include Nether Horror, Smoldering Infernal, and Tormenting Eye. Let's look at Tormenting Eyes. They're going to spawn randomly around the encounter space. They channel Inquisitive Stare. If you're not directly facing them during that cast, it will knock you back and can knock you off the platform. For Paladins, they're easy to deal with at range with Judgment, but for all other tanks, you can use a range single target ability and it should dispatch them pretty quickly. The next notable enemy that we are going to encounter in Phase 1 is going to be Nether Horror. They're going to spawn through 4 purple portals in 4 corners of the room. They're going to target Prophet Velen and try to kill him. You should try to be picking these up as fast as possible with an AoE and burn them down quickly so you do not get stacks of Sight Talons on you. The last and final ad that we'll have to deal with in the encounter is Smoldering Infernals. They have 2 abilities. One is Fell Resonation, which is an AoE damage attack that is consistently resonating from them. It also reduces their health pool over time. And the second is Smash, and this is the most notable one that you need to be watching out for. It is clearly indicated on the ground by a black line or earth looking ability. If you stand in this, it will knock you back and more than likely knock you off the platform. If they are affected by Holy Ward, they will decrease in size and their knockback will be shorter in range. Let's take a brief moment to talk about Prophet Velen. During the encounter, Prophet Velen will spawn Holy Wards on the ground. Holy Wards can be used as a crowd controlling effect. It'll also heal you and Prophet Velen for full health. You need to keep an eye on Prophet Velen's health, as if it gets too low, he'll die and end the encounter. Before moving into Phase 2, we'll need to completely kill Inquisitor Varus, and we'll be redoing these same mechanics over and over again throughout the entire fight. There is a soft enrage. We should not be going into Phase 2 with more than 2 Infernals, so if you reach 3 Infernals, it's doable, but anything beyond that is going to make the next phase of the fight nearly impossible. It's also notable that we want to go into Phase 2 with no ads up. If the Infernals are still alive, that's okay, but if we have any Nether Horrors alive, they should be dead before entering Phase 2. After killing Varus, we'll immediately start Phase 2, and Cruel will become active. He has 3 main abilities that we need to keep track of, and that is Annihilate, Twisted Reflection, and Nether Stomp. Annihilate is a very large physical damage hit. It is a stacking debuff, and it increases the damage that you take. If you are at full health as a paladin, we should always be keeping up Shield of the Righteous, as for every hit of Annihilate, you'll have stacks and you'll want to use this as a cooldown to help mitigate it. Another notable thing about Annihilate is that we need to be trying to pair defensive cooldowns together. In reference to Paladin, we should be keeping up Shield of the Righteous at all times during an Annihilate, but we also need to be pairing it with a defensive cooldown. It's important to note that Annihilate can be interrupted. In reference to Paladin, Hammer of Justice, Blinding Light, and Turn Evil will all interrupt Annihilate. It is going to be useful to help you extend the time of phase 2, especially if you need more defensive abilities up at your disposal. After the third Annihilate, this is extremely important because if you do not have any defensive cooldowns up after the third Annihilate, you will die. The second and most important ability that Cruel uses is Twisted Reflection. It must be interrupted, and it is the priority ability in the fight. If you miss the interrupt, you can use Holy Ward or Divine Shield to remove the debuff from you. If you miss the interrupt and have no way to remove it, there's no way to continue the encounter, and you might as well die. The third ability Cruel will use is Nether Stomp. This does fire damage and is a knockback ability. It will slow you as long as you remain inside the green puddles on the ground. Paladins can use Blessing of Freedom to help negate the slow and safely move out of the ability. We want to be moving at a Nether Stomp as quickly as possible, as Annihilate can go off shortly after Nether Stomp. During the rest of the fight, we're also going to have to be paying close attention to the Smoldering Infernals. They'll continually try to hit you with Smash, and it's going to need to be dodged. No new Infernals will spawn, and we should be trying to AoE cleave these down as much as possible. During this part of the fight, Nether Horrors are still going to continue to spawn through the purple Nether portals on the edges of the room. They're going to go straight for Prophet Velen. We're going to need to be aware of this and try to pick them up and AoE them down as much as possible as well. The last and final mechanic we'll go over in the fight is the purple beams that'll be crossing the room. Ideally, you want to try to stay close to the center of the platform as they have the potential to knock you off the platform. These can also be jumped over. On screen, I'm going to list a few consumable items that are going to make the fight easier for you. They're not required for the fight, and the fight can still easily be completed without these. I will give an honorable mention to the Potion of Unbridled Fury, as this will make the final phase and dealing with Cruel much faster. I will briefly link the talent tree on the screen so you can see the talent tree options. There will also be a link in the description below. There will also be a direct link in the description below for all of the consumables that you can use inside Mage Tower. I will also be linking the weak aura that I used during this fight in the description below. I'll now be showing a complete kill of the Mage Tower. If you found the video useful, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.